Hey everybody, this is Tell True Sports Radio. I'm your host Ron Fitch. College football is back. That I'm gonna give you a recap of the weekend because they had so many games. That game on Monday I didn't think would be significant, but it was. Uh, there's some issues with different programs, but I'm gonna start with the best game of the week. That was USC LSU. That was wall to wall action, offense and defense. I love the way that game was played. I believe it's now LSU is going to run the gauntlet in the SEC, but I believe USC is definitely a playoff team. I love their defense. Their defense set the tone when they stopped Nussmeier on fourth down in the red zone, which they wouldn't have done last year. Their defense coordinator has instilled an attitude. They play quicker, they play faster, they play more physical. Now they're going to have to go up against some dogs in the Big Ten, but I was very impressed with beating a good LSU team. Now, when they took the lead 7-0, and then LSU tied the score. What I thought was going to happen that was going to cost USC dearly was when Michael Lutz missed a 28-yard field goal. I don't trust, remember I tell you all the time, I don't trust college kickers, but you got to make a 29-yard. I do trust college kickers when it comes to 20-yard field goals. Any further out, I'm not sure. But he missed that, and I thought that was going to come back to haunt them. But they had more of a stick-to-itiveness in this game, and it's good going forward because they were able to make the money drive that they had to when it was when they drove and took the lead with Miller Moss throwing the pass to Jabari Lane for a touchdown. And then the kicker, he finally redeems himself by getting a game-winning kick. Well, no. Woody Marks rushed for a 13-yard touchdown. I thought they were going to go for the game-winning kick with 13 seconds left. They win the game. And I was impressed with LSU because LSU played some good defense. Nussmeier was good. Nussmeier's good, 29 of 38 with 304 yards and 2 touchdowns, just had 1 pick. But Miller Moss was really good. 27 of 36 for 378 yards. I loved the combination of Tyron Hudson and Jabari Lane and especially Zachary Branch. Woo, boy, is he going to have a big time year this year. Returning kicks, returning punts, making great plays on that jet sweep, can go deep. He can do it all. NFL scouts are going to be drooling, watch, and he's a playmaker. He loves making plays. And I just like the way USC played. They were efficient. Now, they need to run it a little better. They're 68 yards rushing. If you're going to give me a little more balance, I give them a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. I believe they will make the playoffs. I'm going to look at their schedule. At Michigan's going to be very tough. At Washington's going to be very tough. And then they have the rivalry in Nebraska at home, could be decent. If they take care of business, say for instance they lose to Michigan and they lose to Washington, they should be okay if they end up beating Notre Dame and they have 2 losses because it's a 12-team tournament. Maybe even a third loss could get in, but 2 losses in the Big Ten, and they beat Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's going to be undefeated. I'm going to get to Notre Dame later, and USC is going to beat them. Notre Dame's definitely a playoff team, but I'm impressed with USC. I think LSU could make the playoffs because I like how they played. They could have won the game. They had a bad breakdown at the end defensively, where Coach Brian Kelly was very upset. They could make the playoffs. I'm not gonna, but man, their schedule is different from USC's. South Carolina could be tricky. UCLA at home. Ole Miss is my sleeper team to get to the finals. At Arkansas, at Texas A&M, Alabama at home. Florida's going to be easy. Oklahoma at the end. Woo! How good is that? How good is that schedule? That's a tough schedule. But if LSU could come away with, like I said, 2 losses and maybe pull off an upset, steal a game, they can make the playoffs. But the one thing LSU, and this is the same problem with Notre Dame, they have to get the ball down the field a little better. They didn't do that. I didn't like that. Now, let's go to Notre Dame. That was the next best game. It wasn't as good as at all. It wasn't as good as the USC LSU game. It was a good competitive game, but it was like a rock fight. And Notre Dame ended up pulling it out by 10 late. Riley Leonard was good, but he was efficient. Notre Dame's defense was good. I was underwhelmed by Texas A&M's offensive attack. Connor Wegman was okay. He had 100 yards passing. Moss had 70 yards rushing. They were okay. I thought the MVP was Jeremiah Love. He had the big chunk yard running. And Notre Dame's defense got stops they needed. They were very efficient. The thing about Notre Dame, I don't like they don't get the ball down the field. And Riley Leonard ends from 10 yards to 20 yards. We're talking about passing. He's good. Anything further than that, they don't even run plays like that. Eventually, that's going to hurt Notre Dame. Notre Dame is definitely a playoff team because they went to Texas A&M, pull off the upset. Notre Dame never. I'm talking about never wins those kind of games ever, and they did. They never win those games on the road. The first game of the year, I can name a list of times Notre Dame has gone into different enemy territories or ranked teams. They've never ever won those for that first tough road game. That's the first time I've seen them win a tough road game. And Coach Freeman can coach. They're not super. They won't blow you away. They're just well coached, and they're disciplined. They had a couple bad offside penalties, got cleaned up, and I think that discipline's going to take them far. They're not Ohio State or Texas or Georgia or Alabama. They're not named those teams. They're going to make the playoffs, though. They're going to get whooped up on teams that are – they're going to lose the teams that are better than them. They're probably going to beat the teams they're better than because that's the definition of discipline. Maybe they try to steal a game. They're going to lose at USC. I love USC. I believe they go undefeated until they run to USC. Their schedule is that I'm looking at their schedule. At Purdue could be a tough game. They're going to win all their games. At Georgia Tech, now I believe that could be tough. Florida State is barbecue chicken. And Army, Virginia, they're going to go undefeated until they play USC. Unless they underachieve at one game, I don't think so. And then USC beats them in the Coliseum. Now, because Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, they all whooped up on the weak sisters of poor. They took care of business. They beat those teams that were looking for a paycheck. They got a good paycheck and a good beating. So there was nothing spectacular. Miami whoops up on a terrible. Florida looks terrible. I told you I was worried about Florida. This program is just mediocre at best. And Mississippi won. All the teams won that were supposed to. Except last night, which I didn't even know if I was even going to cover it because Florida State, I thought they were going to beat Boston College, but Boston College smashed Florida State. It's 28-13. It wasn't even that close. They got lucky touchdown. They ran the ball down Florida State's throat. I mean, whew, look at this rushing, the rushing yards. 263 rushing yards to 21. They didn't even have to pass the ball. They pushed, and DJ Uyagale, and I don't like doing this with college kids, but he stinks. And the quicker they get whichever backup quarterback is in there, the better. I don't know what they gave DJU, but no, no, no. It's just Boston College under Bill O'Brien's much improved. They're going to be pretty good. So that's a good thing. And see, Notre Dame's not playing the Boston Colleges. They're playing Florida State, and that's barbecue. Like I said, it's barbecue chicken. So one thing I am interested in with now. They're not making the playoffs. They have to win. If they win out, I don't even think that would happen unless they win that conference. So Florida State's done. Texas, Michigan is the game. Colorado, Nebraska is a game just for different reasons. It's just they're going to be emotions, grudge match at Nebraska. Deon, that has a different element. But the whole college world is going to descend on Michigan, Texas, because these are the two best teams. Texas is good. Texas is supposed to be the team that could win the whole thing. They've underachieved in playoff and in certain big games. Can Sarkisian get them over the hump? The sleeper team in college football is going to be Syracuse because they have a great coach, Fran Brown, who's a recruiter for Georgia. All those great players from Georgia, Fran Brown recruited them, and now he's going to try to take over the Eastern Seaboard in Syracuse. Where they're going to get some of the Jersey, some of the local Connecticut guys that Rutgers and other teams get. Be careful, he's coming. They won 38-22. Ohio State transfer Kyle McCord. I don't know why Ohio State got rid of him. He was okay, but he was great. Saturday, 354 yards, 4 touchdowns, beating Ohio University. They got nice running passing combination. Lakeent Allen is good. Payne is a good receiver. They had a nice balance. They lost a linebacker for a little while. They're one of their better linebackers. He's coming back. But I love Syracuse. Their schedule is tricky because Georgia Tech is now much improved. They're home with Georgia Tech. Very, very, very interesting game. Their road games are going to decide what kind of season they're going to have. If they can get by Georgia Tech somehow, 12 they play Saturday. If they get by Georgia Tech, it sets up for a great season. You going to UNLV because of travel, they take care of UNLV. Their big game is at number 20 for NC State. And then the rivalry game at Pittsburgh. And then at Virginia Tech. Then at Boston College, which is better now. Then you got to travel to California to play California. If you can have 2 losses out of that, or maybe a third loss, and you're having a winning season, you beat Connecticut, you play the University of Miami at home, which shapes up to be the game. Robert Page and It's All About Sports and Terry Collins interviewed Fran Brown. I believe they're going to be at that Miami game and getting interviews for this show, which I love. Terry Collins did a good job. This is the interview with Fran Brown.
Terry Collins, It's All About Sports. First of all, Coach, congratulations on being undefeated as a head coach. Real quick, talk to me about the difference in the preparation this week with being a head coach versus in the past assistant coach or a position coach.
Just a lot of things you have to do when it comes to the entire team. You know, I was in charge of the secondary before. Now it's the entire team. I meet with at least 6 to 7 players every day. So having the opportunity to meet with all those guys, and then all the other things, like everybody's problems and situations come to your desk. So you got to make sure all that stuff is straight. But I mean, it's still, I'm involved. You know, I'm out there coaching and trying to coach all the time and coach special teams, defense, you know, every position, just running around, trying to hold guys accountable. So, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Terry Collins, It's All About Sports. Fidel and Kyle, talk about what it was like for you guys today to transfer here and now playing with teammates who grew up in the same area, South Jersey, as you, such as Deuce and Dennis. What was that like, as well as yourselves, playing together?
Yeah, you got it.
It was good being on the field with those guys again, like Cinco, Deuce, Dennis. It been like we've been practicing this whole off season, and now we was able to play against other opponents, and it felt good being back on the field with those guys. And it was like I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, I think to go off that point, like it kind of feels a little bit like youth high school football over again, playing with the same guys, those familiar faces, but not just doing it on a bigger stage, as well as playing for a coach from South Jersey. So I think it just means more.
I want to put in one more thing, and I put it in my headline on the this YouTube. Could Deon end up going back to Florida State? Florida State is pathetic. They looked terrible. That's not Florida State. Deon is Mr. Florida State. I mean, he really Bowden teams were good, but when Deon came and that group came, that's when they really took off. It went to the Charlie Wards and the Brookses and all those guys. And it was acrimony. Oh my gosh, I can't get that word right. There was issues with Deon in Florida State saying he didn't care. He went to another college. He graduated from some college or something like that. Florida State is pathetic. Deon's sons are leaving. Is he there for the long haul of Colorado? Or would there be a situation where Florida State buys out Norvell? They paid him a lot of money, buy him out, and just go right after Deon. And Deon's under contract with Colorado. I don't know how that works out, but money talks. And they just say, listen, you come here, and you'll get way more recruits than you will in Colorado. You'll get recruits and you'll get NIL. You won't struggle to get interior players and blockers. You'll get plenty of players. IMG, all those schools in Florida are good. The South has got it going on. So he could get a really good quarterback. Whereas I don't know what kind of quarterback he would get if he stays at Colorado. You'll get the Shiloh Sanders type players. You'll get the Hunter. You'll get those perimeter dudes that you always like, and you'll get the big uglies that Florida State could nationally get. That's something that will be talked about. I'm pretty sure somebody else will bring it up. I'm going to be the first guy to bring that up. I'm going to put that on the headlines.